Okay, so I finally was able to get this thing opened, and without proper lighting, it's going to be difficult to explain. But I think part of the problem, aside from the fact that things are misaligned in here, and I forced this lever into position. In fact, right now it just got back out of position with a screwdriver, basically pushing it. Poor lighting, so my apologies. But this lever here, it goes down this way, and the tip of my screwdriver, right now, it's misaligned. There you go. And now I've put it back into a place where it can function, possibly. Maybe not. Anyway, that's not the only point. The other problem is, I'm guessing somebody must have been in here, because this sensor here, it monitors the position of the motor via that orange plastic part right there, via this clip, which I found laying around in the trunk. Okay, this clip goes underneath that sensor. Okay, it goes under it, and my fat fingers, you can't tell, but under here is where it lives. There's a micro switch under there, a red micro switch. I used my endoscope to figure that out. Okay, so when that orange piece comes around, it hits this clip and it pushes the micro switch, letting the computer know, or the motor know, position, right? So this is not installed. It was laying around in the trunk, and it's extremely difficult to install it because it's a very tiny part, and it goes underneath, and there's not a lot of room to work. But maybe with the shroud, with the panel off, it may be possible. But in any case, this, even though it looks like that's a screw, it's not. This doesn't come out. So I think that's part of the problem. So bottom line is, after I put this guy into position, this lever, this manual release lever, and I realigned that spring, okay, because it was just twirling around. It wasn't properly aligned. This long part of the spring has to go under this lever here. I pushed it forward, and right now it's not working again, because again, it's things are misaligned in here. But then I went and I hit the button. I held the button for a few seconds, and it opened. It finally, it unlatched enough to where I could easily, I could lift the tailgate, whereas before I could not lift the tailgate. It felt like it was locked. It wasn't moving at all. This time I was able to lift the tailgate. It did not come up under its own power. So I don't know if that's because of this problem that I mentioned, or if there's an issue with the power lift-gate system, okay, which is driven by that motor, and there's a computer module in there. So I don't know. You know, we may start by replacing this whole assembly, this power lock actuator deal, which most likely comes with the motor. I mean, it's all one piece. Yes, the motor does come off, but it's best to just replace this whole thing as one piece. And if that fixes the problem, awesome, but it may not. The actual power lift gate itself, it may not go up and down under its own power. Perhaps there's more issues. Perhaps there's a problem with this guy here. Okay, that's all I wanted to point out. But if I were to summarize, bottom line is, I just used a little bit of brute force and a long flathead screwdriver to, you can actually see it now. Let me see, where's my screwdriver? There we go, to put that, which is part of that whole lever, to force it forward so it starts riding in this section here. Okay, right now it's butting up against the body of the actuator itself. Okay, that was one of the main culprits. The spring, I readjusted it so it's properly fitted now with this part of the spring going underneath this arm, and I think that's what finally did it. Where before things were misaligned, so every time the motor would start, it would make things worse. Things just wouldn't go anywhere, okay? And they would not. Oh, here. What would happen is this part right here, which is ultimately probably what unlatches things, it would stay in this position, in this vertical position. It would never come this way, and I could not manually by hand force it this way. But after I realigned things, and I hit that button again, it seems it finally was able to make its round, and I was able to open the lift gate. So I hope this helps somebody. Thank you.